Okay, well, this has been blown out of proportion, and I can understand why people are upset. So that's why I'm apologizing to everyone about the use of openbeat AI. I know they have, well, allegedly they have an affiliation with Suno AI. It's because they use an API, and I will explain how an API works. Because there's a little bit more nuance to it than what has been told by the two content creators. And I think, I should be able to do that with my audience. But however, the most important thing is I want to apologize if you felt like you have been misled, if you've been hustled or anything like that. Full disclosure, guys, I reached out to openbeat AI. I reached out to Evan in particular because I knew that Evan was involved with openbeat AI. Me and Evan go way back. Evan used to have a company called Studio Link. And Studio Link has made plenty of plugins that were for the hip hop space exclusively. And they were good plugins that I have purchased with my own money, as well as them sending me a free product. So that you guys know, I don't have a problem with disclosing stuff, because one of the claims in that video, so that, we can get to the meat of this stuff, because there's going to be people that will leave a comment below and say that they don't like me because I do this and I be scamming and all this other stuff. No, I don't have a problem with telling people if my video is sponsored, which that video was not sponsored, by the way. I didn't make any money from doing those videos. I just wanted to try AI because I do like AI. And that's another full disclosure. I like AI. I have a different stance on AI than other people. So if you're going to be mad at me for that. But I'm my own thinker. I look at things and investigate it. And my reason why I use AI is because my videos have been demonetized because I use samples and stuff like that for sampling. Because I'm a sampler-based producer. I like to sample stuff. I just do. And I didn't like the fact that videos were getting copyright claims, and then me getting not a copyright strike, a community guideline strike for sampling. It was humongous and ridiculous, if that makes any sense. But that's kind of the reason why I use AI in this nutshell, because I don't have to worry about stuff like that happening until it happens, of course. And I'm pretty sure it might happen because of the nature of my channel being large. The other thing, I did not have an affiliate link in the description. It's not an affiliate link. I don't earn any kickback from the link. I don't earn any kickback from the link. Also, I had a coupon code. The coupon code does not earn me any kickback. I have not received any payment. I did not ask for any payment either, guys. So let that be the key things that you take away from this video, that I did not try to make any money from any of that. The only money I've made is from YouTube ad revenue, and that's it. That's all. And that's because my channel is monetized. I don't know how people feel about my channel being monetized or not. I know the two content creators that have been very vocal about me, and the other people that's involved with this, which all of our stories are different, by the way. And, shout out to Pain One. He apologized too. I'm apologizing because I don't know what the situation is at hand. We're going to find out more about that in a little bit, because I had a conversation with Evan over there at Studio Linked, or my bad, openbeat AI. And I know that he's supposed to address that, and we're going to find out more. However, I've done my own research, and I will show you that in this video too. You know what I'm saying? So that is my relationship. Matter of fact, I've done many reviews on Studio Link stuff in the past, which, that company is gone for what I know. From my understanding, I could be getting the information wrong. And I have covered the Zaytoven plugin and many other plugins that they have created, the Brian Michael Cox plugin. And, I've had my criticisms. If you watch my channel, you already know I'm a healthy critic to certain things. And one of the main videos I've been a critic of was this right here, when I saw the Sunny Digital Music Producer Union. And I was saying that it was Beat Club 2.0. And, we can go all day about that. You feel me? We can talk all day about that, but that's not what we're talking about today. Now, I did mention that openbeat AI is supposed to release some type of statement, but here's what I read on their website, and I have it linked in the description box so you can see it's real. And again, it's not an affiliate link, so relax. Now, here are the terms and conditions that are on the website. Now, I do see that it was last updated on the 5th of December of 2025. So, take that as you will. They have user responsibilities of you not uploading copyrighted audio or anything that you have not created. You know, just record your vocals or whatever, or play something and then insert it into their machine learning algorithm. Okay, so that's what they want you to do with it. Their copyright and intellectual properties, your uploaded content, how they're going to treat it, and so forth. And then they talk about commercial use and how you're going to use it or whatever. And then their output limitations and user protection, which all of this stuff you can read yourself. So as full disclosure and due diligence to my audience, I want to tell you guys that you can research, and I have the live stream linked in the description box. I have the whole entire video where you can see where I did my loop and stuff like that with my own voice, and that I did not take anybody else's music or any of that stuff. I owe that level of due diligence to openbeat.ai, whether it be popular or not. And I also owe that same due diligence to you guys as well, so that you know that I'm not trying to scam you guys. Also, as another layer of integrity and due diligence to both openbeat.ai, because they haven't made their statement yet, and then to my audience, which has a level of interest because of me, of my influence, we must learn what an API is and how it works. So an API is an application programming interface, is a set of rules and protocols that allow two different software programs to communicate with each other. Trust me, guys, I can see why someone would misconstrue if the API is using servers from Suno or whatever the case may be, but that's how it is plain in sight. It acts as a messenger or middleman, providing a standardized way for applications to request data or functionality without needing to know the internal workings of the other system. So what that is saying is, even though it uses the machine learning API, that doesn't mean that they're pulling the information from their servers. That would be foolish if Suno was allowing people to use their servers to train everything that they have collected. And mind you, if they're fighting for supremacy, why in the world would they work with other companies that are competing with them? You feel what I'm saying there? Now, it further explains the concept of how APIs work. You can think of an API as a waiter in a restaurant. You, the client, will give your order request to the waiter API, who takes it to the kitchen server. I know that word server scares people, and brings it back to your meal response. The key is that you don't need to go into the kitchen or know how the food is prepared. You just need to know how to interact with the waiter, and the menu being the application, like this, typing in a prompt, and the menu. So we'll see in the next couple of days if they respond and they explain how their use of the Suno API that was shown in the clip in weaverbeats video, and see if it, makes any sense of any sort, because who knows? We'll just have to see if they even make a statement. Only time will tell. So I'll just do a test in this video to see if any of my stuff that I've generated on openbeat.ai is on Suno. Ah, shit. All right, so here we go. All right, I am a little nervous about this, so I'm gonna play it. Y'all hear that, right? That is the sample that I generated. And by the way, if you are already a part of openbeat.ai, you can private your samples and stuff like that so nobody can see it. And that way you can avoid people just taking your idea. Here is the prompt right here. You can see it. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it on the screen. I know people are going to use it, but I use my voice to generate it, so I'm cool. Having a burner account on Suno.ai is crazy, but I do have one. And I'm going to paste everything that I have from openbeat on there. And I would think that it will generate something, right? And I'm going to wait for it to generate, and it has generated something. So let's go ahead and play it. I'm not going to lie, that sample is already good to me, but that's not the exact same thing. The storm. And that darn show ain't the same thing. So my best advice to you guys is to make sure that you have your stuff private, because everybody can download it if it's public, and then also to have it private so that people can't download it or steal it or whatever the case may be, even though it's a prompt. You already know how people feel about prompting. Now, I want to address the biggest elephant in the room, which is my relationship with Curtis King and weaverbeats. When I think you're going to cover a story that comes out with scathing criticisms like that, especially if the word scam is used and they're scamming their audience and music producers scamming the audience, whatever the case may be, there should be a level of research and due diligence. They have my contact, and I will prove that. I have Curtis King's phone number. As proof, I will call it. You see it? Curtis King. Let's call the number. See if he blocked me. I gotta pay my phone bill. Whoops. All right, second attempt. I paid my phone bill. Let's call him. See if it works.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Hey, Curtis King, this is Mcree. I'm calling you. What's going on? And with all due respect, he's on the West Coast. It's around about 11:56 in the morning here in Atlanta. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. He might call back later. Who knows? We'll have a discussion. I wish I could say that for weaverbeats. At the same damn time, dude, we have the same associates, and there's been plenty of times where I've told his associates, mind you, like why in the world is there middlemen in this situation, which also gives a precaution that there is no rhyme or reason for this person that has all these allegations for everything that I do to not want to reach out and have some level of due diligence. It's kind of crazy, don't you think? But more power to him. I'm not mad at it, but I do have to point out the obvious things. 7 years ago, I did a podcast talking about Curtis King and his run-in with FL Studio. And yes, we laughed at the situation because we thought it was a bit crazy and outlandish that he would make an apology video. But at the same time, we can understand it because that is his platform. So you can see that this is real. I'm going to scroll up and down so you can see that it is not Photoshop. This is on YouTube, dude. Like, this is YouTube. 8 o'clock. I'm not this good at programming at all. Never have been. But you can see that he laughed at this at this podcast. My bad. So in this live podcast right here, we was reacting to him and Busy Work Beats going back and forth. And yeah, we was being nosy, looking at the situation. You can also see that Curtis King even appeared himself and had some things to say. And it wasn't anything negative towards us. He was just explaining, doing what a brother's supposed to do, like what I'm doing right now, and clarifying and getting due diligence for his situation with Busy Work Beats because he didn't like how things was going down between the two. Busy Work Beats even showed up on another podcast himself to explain himself. I think the context behind this whole entire live stream was it was 2020, people were bored. They did a beat battle and whatever, and it didn't go the way that Curtis King, because Curtis King took it seriously. Busy Work Beats didn't. So, and I totally understood why he would feel the way he should. And I do understand why Busy Work Beats should feel the way he should, even though it was everything I thought was kind of crazy. And to add context and not to make Curtis King seem like he's a demon, dude, I've actually collaborated and he's actually shared his platform with me, which I'm to this very day still thankful for. And you can see right here, it says, Mcree, how to build a music producer brand with humor and honesty. Dude, where in the world is the honesty when it comes in my direction? That's the only thing I got a problem with. However, more power to you, my brother. I wish you nothing but success. But when it comes to weaverbeats, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I got a little bit of malice for dude because he has earned it. Me and weaverbeats both follow each other on Instagram. So he could have reached out to me on here. Also, we follow each other on Twitter. I'm never gonna call Twitter X. And it's not like we haven't talked before because me and weaverbeats just talked 3 months ago. I'll show you the thread right here. I'm not trying to dox or anything. He asked me about a situation with a community guideline strike. And that's why I find the situation strange because, dude, you could have reached out and figured out if I actually did scam people or whatever the case may be. I'm an open book, dude. I will be honest, no matter what. One thing about me, I will always be honest. But for some reason, that isn't the case for him. Never, not once ever has this man made a positive piece of content on me, ever. And this brother has a whole entire playlist dedicated to me. That's insane work. And look, I ain't hating the players, just the game for what it is. Look, I just want you to give me the due diligence to reach out to me so we can actually have a conversation before you make scathingly ridiculous claims against me for doing something evil when I didn't do anything. But even if you don't do that, I don't know what I've done to you. I don't know what I've done to Curtis King to piss him off either. But dude, I apologize to you guys, to be honest. I wish nothing but the best for you guys. Now I'm keeping it 100 with you. Whatever it is, just continue to do what you do. This is probably going to be my last time I'll address this shit. That's how I am with this. How I'm moving forward, AI or otherwise, dude. Like, all I want to do is create content, have fun. If I get a sponsorship, like I've been doing in the past, I will disclose that either in the video, which I do in the video, and in the description box if it's an affiliate link or whatever the case may be. I don't hide nothing from anybody. And for those who want to know where I stand with openbeat AI, well, we'll see what their response is or whatever. And hopefully I don't have to, because I like it. I like openbeat AI, dude. Like I like what they're doing over there. It's quite unique versus something like Suno. And I don't really even have a problem with Suno because they're trying to fix whatever is going on over there. There are people that have their grand stance about it no matter what. There's people that don't like AI, that do like AI. You know, how do you feel about it? I want to know how you guys feel about it. I know the vast majority of people don't have a problem with it. There's been people that get upset and they leave their comments, and do more power to you. I've already addressed it. I don't know how many times in the video. It's getting kind of tiresome. So in the general conclusion of this is that people will like you, not like you, whatever the case may be. Don't let them stop you from doing whatever. But in a situation like this where it is kind of detrimental, I will say, you know, I try to proceed with precaution and make sure that people aren't getting harmed for what I do. I don't like to just take the money and take the bag and do whatever. And even in the case of openbeat AI, I didn't take any bag. I'm not getting any back pay, any forward pay, any sideways pay. I just like the platform for what it is because it helps with what I do. And some of the things creatively, it helps me kind of done with all the little foolishness. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not here to claim a side or whatever. I'm creating content because that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years on this platform. And that's coming from the bottom of my heart. You guys know that. Peace.